put all these pictures up because I thought this would really spark your own brain in terms of what kinds of things we're looking for when we're trying to say, well, does someone have Alzheimer's or not? Obviously, we're not going to look at pictures and say, okay, he meets this picture, and this picture, so yes, he's got it. But the signs and symptoms are common, and there are clinically proven tests that can be done to determine if someone is manifesting the beginning or at some stage of Alzheimer's. So the first one with the calculator is that the person can't do simple math. They used to be able to balance their checkbook, but now they're having trouble with that. They can't seem to add up numbers or do math the way that they used to. The one in the middle, falls. Falls become very common. Also, a fall can certainly precipitate a brain injury. Older people, when they fall, puts them at risk for all kinds of diseases. And I could do an entire presentation on the hazards of falling in the elderly, because it does set forth many physical problems. Someone I've had several patients who are doing really well, independent in their homes, taking care of themselves, preparing their own meals, doing everything. They fall, and all of a sudden they're in the hospital, and it's a downward spiral from there because they may develop a reaction to medications that they're given in the hospital for pain, the change in scene, the change in diet, maybe there was trauma to their head at the time. So they may develop pneumonia, and once an old person starts to develop all of these things, it's like kind of a downward slope. So we really want to keep older people from falling, although it is a hazard of Alzheimer's. They may not be able to feed themselves towards the end. Early stages, it's more like the math and the thinking, and then as time goes on, the motor skills become more evident. Anger, may see mental status changes. A person whose personality changes, maybe they were very easygoing and happy, and then all of a sudden they're very cross and irritable and nasty and perhaps paranoid, accusing you of stealing their things. I'd love to have a nickel for every one of my home care patients who accuses one of their caregivers of stealing their stuff. And there's just no way, because there was no stuff to steal in the first place. But because of the changes that are going on in their brains, they think, someone's stealing or someone's trying to come in and hurt them. That's paranoia. They may have depression. They may know that something's not right, that they're not the person that they were before. Leaving pots on the stove. They are definitely a safety risk. It comes to the point that some people actually have to be removed from their homes or have all the stove disconnected, the microwave disconnected, everything unplugged, because they're not reliable enough to leave a pot on the stove without setting the whole house on fire. So there are many safety risks. They may not recognize people. One of the worst late symptoms that I've seen is that the person does not recognize their own family. And the family goes to visit them, and they have no idea who their child is. And many children have told me, it's like my mother died already. She's still alive and she's breathing, but at this point, she's not my mother. She doesn't even know who I am. So there's a lot of guilt involved as well. So those are some of the things that can go wrong in terms of signs and symptoms. Also, there's muscle wasting. The person can't support their body weight like they used to. In the end, they may forget to swallow, and that's a problem. And in our society, one of the things is we don't want to let our old people go gracefully. Families say, do everything, even if the person is not who they were when they were younger. They can't talk anymore. They can't eat anymore independently. They're falling. And our society is kind of on the wavelength that we have to do everything we can and keep people as alive as possible. And that's certainly a debate for discussion.